This is by far the most popular question that we get asked every single day. How much did your Shed 2 house cost? Hey y'all, it's Bo Brotherton here on the Better Together Homestead, along with the Shed 2 House Facebook group. That's what we're going over today. We're going over how much did it cost for us to build our Shed 2 studio. The Shed 2 studio, y'all haven't seen like a full tour. My wife is about to have a baby, or she's already had the baby, depending on when you're seeing this video. That's all of this stuff over here, prep work for the baby coming. And I'm sitting in front of a not fully finished, not fully painted Murphy bed. But we're going over all of the numbers that you want to know on how much it costs to build a Shed 2 tiny house. Because this space, this studio, literally is a tiny house. It is a 14 by 24 lofted shed from United Portable Buildings. It also has a loft area that you could use for sleeping. We currently we consider it our attic because we use it for storage at the moment. With an almost full bathroom, it does have a stand-up shower and toilet. Then we also have a kitchen sink and a full-size stand-up freezer that we're using for ours. But if you wanted to, you would have plenty of space to have a dishwasher in here and a full-size refrigerator. Then behind you, we have a working desk area that you could convert to dressers, a desk as well, or anything. And then this is where we have the Murphy bed. All right, so I'm not gonna have time, and nobody wants to go through every single line item of how much something costs. So if you wanna follow along, or if you just wanna be able to download it for your future reference, I'm gonna put a link down below to where you can get the full breakdown of how much this costs. Link down below in the description. Also, in the description below, I'm gonna put a link to where you can build your own Shed 2 house with United Portable Buildings 3D shed builder that you can go, you can expand it, you can make whatever kind of thing you want. You can make it a full 2-story shed that's 20 feet in depth and 60 feet wide. You can build an entire giant house out of that. Again, the link's down below for the breakdown as well as the builder. All right, so let's just go some of the big line items so that you can have an idea of what this all costs. Okay, so the actual shell of the building, that's the 14 by 24 shell, that is going to run $12,342. So just over $12,000 can get you a structure that you can convert yourself. That's where it's really not that bad in terms of building a tiny house. That also includes delivery and anything you want. So then you add on things like making the walls a little bit taller to where that can be 8 feet. That's about another $336. We ended up wanting to have a little bit more of an overhang, to have larger eaves, which I would highly recommend, to make that 6 inches wider. That's an extra $125. Then also that price for the shell of the shed building, that still includes the metal roof, which is awesome. The siding, everything, that's all included. It is a perfectly deliverable shed. That price, if you just wanted extra storage, they could deliver that to your property and you'd be good to go. Then you skip down to taking out the barn doors and then putting in a regular door. That's $300, but then you also get a little bit of a credit because you're taking away the double shed doors. So you're taking away that $250. So really getting a normal door is only like 50 bucks right there. Then in terms of windows that we have here, we have 3 main windows on this main side, and then we have the 2 top windows to add extra light. If you're living in one of these full-time, I would highly recommend finding a way to put another secondary door just in case of an emergency or a fire, because nobody ever is going to live in this building. We don't need that. It's just used as an office space. Because as we have learned in converting these small homes from sheds, is that your usable wall space is at a premium. It really is. So if we have a window over here, yes, it adds more natural light, but yet it also, what it does is it takes away a wall that we can hang something. So let's say we wanted to have a window or a door right here where the Murphy bed is. Well, you can't do that because you have a window there. So that's why we just have a full solid wall all on this side. Okay, so I'm gonna be perfectly honest. You can build the entire electrical package in the 3D shed builder from United Portable Buildings. The only weird thing about that is it's going to take a long time, and I honestly, with Kelly having a baby, I didn't have time to rebuild all of the electrical package that we currently have in this studio. So I basically just went to what it cost back in 2020 before COVID, and I just upped the price a little bit. So that may or may not be accurate. I know that we have a 200 amp breaker, which is awesome, way more than we need. I believe roughly, so don't quote me on this. You can go and get your own quote and email us at Better Together Life if you have any questions. But I believe roughly the electrical package that we ended up getting would be around $2,000 now. It was called a 20 drop electrical package, but I think it would be somewhere around $2,000 for the full electrical package, including the 200 amp breaker. Okay, so then of course I don't have current prices, but I would assume, I'm just increasing things a little bit based off of inflation. To do the closed cell spray foam, I think it would be around about $3,700 to $4,000. Now, of course, some of you guys in our Shed to House Facebook group talk about doing this DIY your spray foam, and I guess you could. In order to save some money on labor and doing it. It's completely possible. That's something that I would not feel comfortable doing, and I think that the time and the investment that you're putting in on spending all of the money for the material, and then of course doing this, it's not like doing your own insulation, batted insulation like the Pink Panther or even rock wool or something like that. If you mess that up, you just get to take it back out. So if you mess up spray foam insulation in one of these buildings, you don't get that back out. You can't, you have to manually scrape and cut, and you're just never gonna get it all out. I just wouldn't do it. So you can try to do it, but I think that if it's something that you don't do every single day, I would not do it. So it is worth the money of $3,700 to $4,000 to hire someone to do the spray foam insulation. The tie down straps would be around about $325. I'm increasing the price a little bit just in case, so I don't know the exact price. The same as the Tyvek house wrap that goes around the house. Then we also had a radiant barrier on the top of the roof. It was basically after they did the sheathing for the roof, then they did a wrap, a radiant barrier there, and then they put the metal roof on. Okay, so that is basically the price, all of those things for United Portable Buildings. All of that coming from United Portable Buildings was around about $20,000 for this studio. Then we, of course, were in charge of doing all the finishes. I highly recommend doing yourself because that's where you can save a lot of money. Okay, so the finishes came out to around $18,000 so far of what we have here. There might be a little bit more in terms of cost that I will update this every single year as we add more things. So all you got to do is just go get the expense report down below for now, and then it'll get the updated versions. But this is basically everything. I think everything that we have is mostly all done. I think there's a couple of furniture things that we don't have in there. Maybe some of these shelves are not in this, but you'll get a decent idea. Because basically it is the rough ends, it's the basic cost that you really need to know, because everybody's going to have different finishes. Not everybody's going to have all of this expensive shiplap siding all in your building. You're going to want to do drywall, which is a lot cheaper, so you have a whole lot more varieties. But I'm going to go over the finishes right now. Okay, so the total finishes that we did was around $18,000. I'm going to go over the biggest ticketed items. The biggest ticket item that we had was contract labor. So that $18,000, I hired my friend Andrew Couch, who's done so much work for us here. And honestly, it is well worth it if you have someone who is good at what they do and it saves you time. We would not even be close to this. There's just no way. So I've paid him $7,000 in over the last 2.5 years to help me here and there to be able to build some of this stuff out. Like the shower, like I didn't know how to install shower doors. Okay, so another thing that came out to this is the furniture and decor. Those are things like our desk, Murphy bed, these shelves, some of the shelving here in the kitchen. After that would be the Shiplap. The Shiplap actually didn't come out at quite as much as I would think. It was about $2,200, and that is all of the Shiplap. So the Shiplap here, that was about $2,200. These are 16-foot called nickel gap boards. We just love Shiplap because it's easy to do. It's really not a difficult install versus drywall. I don't know if if I built like a conventional home, I don't think I would have Shiplap everywhere, but definitely I think we would have it in certain places. We like it. Okay, next thing is gonna be the bathroom and the plumbing, which is about $1,300 a piece. Then we have the deck, which is $400. We have some electrical run to be able to go from our main box to here. That was around $700. We have some lighting that was around $100. And then, of course, we have our air conditioner, our mini split. That was sponsored. So yay, and the flooring was sponsored here. So, I mean, those are some of the things that we're very grateful for being able to find partners. But just know that that's not in this breakdown. You're gonna have to have the flooring. I'm gonna have the full breakdown of this in the link below. Also, don't forget to do the United Portable Buildings 3D shed builder down below. And if you're in states like Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, I think those are them, and you wanna work directly with Kelly and I to be able to build your shed to house and convert it. And if you want to get your United building, which by far is the best manufacturer of these buildings, I mean, there's just nobody is better than them. We can personally help you with that. Just follow the link below, do your 3D shed builder, and then we'll get a notification, and then go ahead and send us an extra email and saying like, hey, I'd like to work with Bo and Kelly, and we would love to take you from the beginning of that process all the way to the end. Hey, thank you guys. I'm gonna put a video right here. This is a time lapse of how this shed to studio was built in the manufacturing plant of United Portable Buildings. You're gonna love that time lapse.